If you ever make a mistake and you want to undo what you just did, well, as we learned in the past couple of training videos, we can undo that by coming up here on the Quick Access toolbar. You can see right there that arrow that's faded. Can't undo anything, as you can see in the pop-up, because I haven't done anything to undo. And you can see the shortcut, if you don't want to click on that command, is Control-Z to undo. Then to the right of that is a double agent. It's both the redo and repeat, which we'll cover in just a minute. First of all, the undo. If I do something that I don't want to do, but I accidentally did, like Control-A, shortcut keys to select the entire document, and I accidentally hit the delete key on the keyboard, well, let's come back up here to the Quick Access toolbar, and there's the undo. So if I undo it, I'm back to where I started, but if I come back up here and I change my mind, I'm like, yeah, let's just get rid of everything. I can come over here and click on redo, so I can redo the clearing of the entire document. Click on redo, undo, redo. And while you have this dialogue back and forth with yourself, you can keep doing that until you close out of the document, in which case you will no longer have the option to undo or redo. It's just for that session. Of course, you can use the shortcut keys Control-Z and then Control-Y to redo, Control-Z to undo. Now, how this comes into play, where this acts as a double agent, where instead of redoing, it does a repeat, that comes with text. So after you do an action like typing, you can quickly repeat it. And this will convert from the redo, what you just undid, to something that you can repeat. So if I type in some text, and then I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and repeat that, it'll keep repeating it. And so if I hit the space bar and keep typing space, when I click on repeat, you can see how it just finishes off where I started over again and keep repeating and repeating. Why would you want to do that? Because maybe you just typed in something that you're like, hey, I can actually repeat that instead of having to type it in over and over and over again. Like if you have the same heading above certain paragraphs or something that you want repeated, go ahead and come up here and click on the repeat typing. Now if you undo that, it changes from repeating something, your most recent action, to redoing. So once you undo something, you can repeat it. So think of it like this. When you undo, you can redo. That is until you change it by performing an action that you're not undoing, that you're simply like typing in additional text that you can repeat. Now the shortcut keys for repeating, besides Control-Y, which will also act as a double agent to redo something you undid, but we're talking about actually performing an action that we can repeat, not first undoing, so we can get the redo option to work, but doing some action like that. Then to repeat that, you can hit the F4 key, the F4 key, the F4 key. I mean, that's a shortcut if you don't want to move your mouse all the way up to the top here and click on repeat. So hopefully you understand the difference between the double agent here of redoing and undoing. The only time you can redo is after you undo something, and the only time you can repeat something is when you actually perform an action and you're not undoing it first. Now notice to the right of the undo here, you get, when you click on the drop down arrow, quite a few actions, because when you do a lot of things within the document, it keeps track of it. How much does it keep track of? Maybe hundreds to thousands of mistakes. I haven't really gone that far. So instead of hitting undo several times, if you just want to go back to the most recent, 4 actions that you performed that you were like, okay, I want to undo the latest 4, then instead of hitting undo 4 times, just click on its corresponding drop down arrow and go down to the 4th most recent action, and it will undo everything from that point all the way to the most recent. So click on that, and it undid those 4 actions. Click on the drop down arrow. You can go all the way back to the beginning without having to hit undo several times. So that can be very helpful and make your time more efficient, especially if you make that many mistakes.